All right, let's talk about Martin Heidegger. He's one of the most important philosophers of the 20th century, no question. But, and let's be totally honest here, he's also one of the most difficult to read. If you've ever picked up his work and felt completely lost, trust me, you are not alone. But what if I told you there was a key to unlock his incredibly profound ideas? Well, stick around, because that's exactly what we're going to explore.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll dive into what we're calling the Herculean task. Basically, why Heidegger is so darn tough. Then, we'll get into the promise, which is all about why it's so worth the effort. After that, I'll introduce you to your guide through this maze, show you how it unlocks his core concepts, and then we'll wrap up by talking about why this book is so essential and how you can get started on your own journey.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the Herculean task. This really gets to the heart of the matter for anyone who's ever tried to read Heidegger. Reading Heidegger really can feel like you're trying to find your way through a maze, right? This phrase from our source material just nails it. It's like wandering through labyrinthine corridors of thought. You can sense there's something brilliant just around the corner, but it's so easy to take a wrong turn and get completely lost. And look, this journey is absolutely worth taking. We're talking about a true giant of modern philosophy. Heidegger's ideas about existence, about time, about what it means to be human, they've shaped everything from psychology to literary theory. The guy's influence is massive. But here's the real roadblock. The problem isn't you, it's Heidegger's language. He would literally invent new words or use common words in ways nobody else did. That's why trying to crack open one of his books can feel like, well, a Herculean task. Which brings us right to Section 2, the promise of his philosophy. Okay, so if he's so difficult, why in the world should we even bother? It's a totally fair question, isn't it? I mean, our reading lists are already a mile long. Why should we wrestle with this particular philosophical giant? Here's why. Because the payoff is immense. This is so much more than just an academic exercise. Heidegger's work makes you confront the biggest questions there are. What does it actually mean to be? What is our relationship with time? What is the core of our own existence? This is the kind of philosophy that can genuinely change the way you see everything. And that brings us to Section 3. So, we have the challenge and we have the reward. Now let's meet the tool that makes it all possible. The Heidegger Dictionary by Isaac Volpe.
And now, when you hear dictionary, don't just picture a boring list of words. Oh, no. Think of this book more like a map, a compass, maybe a GPS for navigating Heidegger's incredibly dense and complex world of ideas. It's a tool.
And what's so smart about this book is that it doesn't try to boil the ocean. The author has carefully selected the 100 most essential, most fundamental concepts you need to know. This makes it super powerful, but also really accessible. You get exactly what you need without getting buried in unnecessary details. Okay, Section 4, Unlocking Key Concepts. Talk is cheap, right? So let's pop the hood and actually see how this dictionary works its magic. Let's start with probably his most famous, and maybe most intimidating term, Dasein. The dictionary just lays it out, plain and simple. Dasein isn't just a human being. It's the specific type of being we are, the kind that can actually ask questions about its own existence. This idea alone, that our own being is a question for us, was a total game changer in philosophy. And then, and this is the brilliant part, the book immediately pairs that clear definition with a direct quote from Heidegger's masterpiece, Being and Time. So you're not just getting someone's interpretation, you're getting a direct line to the source. It perfectly bridges the gap between a simple explanation and the original text. Let's try another one. Geworfenheit, or thrownness. This is such a powerful concept. The dictionary breaks it down beautifully. It's that basic fact that none of us chose to be here. We are literally thrown into a world, a time, a place, a situation that we didn't pick. It's an idea that really pushes back against our modern obsession with being in total control. And again, you see the pattern. That clean definition is immediately backed up by Heidegger's own words. This structure, clear definition, then a direct quote, is the secret sauce of the whole book. You can see how quickly it builds a really solid foundation for understanding. So let's move on to Section 5 and just pull it all together. Let's talk about exactly why this book is the key for anyone who's serious about getting Heidegger.
Here are 5 big reasons. 1, it just cuts through that complexity we've been talking about.
2, it deepens your understanding, whether you're a student or just a curious reader. 3, and this is so important, it's the perfect companion to have right next to you when you're reading his actual books. 4, it leads to real intellectual expansion. And 5, it's just an incredibly practical, useful, and well put together resource to have.
And that brings us to our final section, starting your philosophical journey. We've seen the problem, we've seen the incredible promise, and we've seen the key. So, what's the next step?
You know, at the end of the day, this isn't about acing a test or sounding smart at a party. As the author says, getting into Heidegger is about something way bigger. It's about exploring the very depths of your own existence and the world that you live in.
So if any of this has sparked your interest, if you're ready to go from being intimidated by Heidegger to actually engaging with him, this is your starting point. You can begin that journey right now. To grab your copy of the Heidegger Dictionary, just click the link down in the description. It really is the key to unlocking one of the greatest minds in all of philosophy.